Because when given a choice, because women are free today, right? And you're educated, right? Then why don't we see 51% of the construction workers as women? Why don't we see 51% of the engineers as women? Why don't we see 51% of the plumbers, electricians, military, train operators, heavy, dangerous work as women? Because when given an opportunity, women segregate themselves into more comfortable positions.
Today we're gonna be reacting to Kevin Samuels, and apparently this girl hung up on him during the live session. So let's see. The boy's already savage. So let's see what happened.
I got a fetish for cheese. I tell her you better believe who really ahead of the G.
Yo, my man, we back at it. I love that intro. So calm.
You clicked on.
Okay. All right. What's the question?
You clicked the request. I mean, can you live in peace with a man? Can you submit to a man? Can you play the background?
I don't feel like. What do you guys think? Like, you think some? Like, I want to hear what the woman think. You think like submission to a man is like a bad thing? Like, I think it could be always. I think it could be good, but within reason. Obviously, everything within reason. But I want to know. Let me know, females. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. I don't know, but they got to be the right man.
When you say play the background, what do you mean play the background?
Play your natural role.
My natural role in being a wife?
Yes, the background.
I don't think a natural role as a wife is in the background.
Show me where in the world a natural wife is in front.
She's not in front, but she's beside.
No, she's not.
Why she's not, Kevin?
Yeah, she's not. Look
Are you out of your French toast mind?
Don't start. Don't do that now, Kevin. I'm just giving you my opinion.
Yeah, but
okay. Well, when a burglar comes, are you standing side? When somebody's coming to break in the house, are you side by side beside your husband?
I actually like that question. Like, there's some females that would be like, "Yeah, I'm right there. But when it really comes down to it, they're not going out there, bro. Just be honest. Like, they're not going out there, man. They're just not. I mean, don't get me wrong. Obviously, we're talking about the majority. There are going to be those outliers that actually do, go out there. So, we're speaking about the majority. The majority of women won't, if someone breaks into the house, they're going to expect a man to go figure out who's in the house. I'm just saying. But hey,
your husband, or you standing behind him because he's going to have to take the bullet?
To be honest, I'm standing beside my husband.
Then you out of place.
Why am I out of place?
Oh my God!
Am I too masculine for it?
Oh my God! Hell yeah! Your place. Oh my God! Hold on. Why are you out of place? I'm telling you why you're out of place. Your place is behind your husband, guarding the children.
Ooh.
Okay.
If they're
I'm really on you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's true.
That
is true.
Mother, how about your grandmother?
I just find it funny that like he gets a lot of backlash, like just of the things he says and how he says it and things like that, just his content. But from women, but they're still calling in. Like, he's not forcing these women to come on his platform, but they're still calling in. So I don't even understand if they don't like him that much, why are you still calling in? It makes no sense to me. So obviously there's a problem that the women that are calling in feel as though he can fix or he can give them some insight into.
Okay.
Hold on, Hannah. Your grandmother, was she married?
That's another thing, Mr. Kevin.
This girl just popped out of nowhere. Who is she? And what is she doing? I kind of like this feature, this Instagram feature with lives where you can add multiple people. I think you can do the same thing with FaceTime. I'm not sure.
Hold on, Hannah. Let me come right back to you. I'm come back to you, Hannah. Was your grandmother married?
Yes, my grandmother was. But that's the thing I'm trying to explain to you. We're in two different generations right now. The generation that you're trying to explain to us, my generation is not living like that no more.
Yeah, and that's why you're dying by yourself.
But who says there isn't a man that's willing to take me for him to me for me?
Yeah,
for
one in four.
So I gotta interject. To her point, there might be a man. Most likely, there is a man that is for her, that will fit her needs. But on average, she's not gonna find like the men are like what she's describing. Men aren't like that. Like on average, obviously, you and with everything you have outliers, but on average, I don't think she's gonna find a man like that. But you can, it's life. Anything can happen.
4 of you will marry. I mean, look, man, the stats don't work for your argument. Prior to 1965, black people were married at a rate of 80%. You go out to any cemetery, you'll see a black man buried next to a black woman. Mm-hmm. But you go after 1990, and you'll start seeing black women.
He uses data, like there's no way, like unless you have data that backs up your argument, you're gonna always lose. You're always gonna lose an argument with him because he backs up his points with data that is visible to you. Like you can do your own research or find them. It's not like he's pulling out thin air. He's literally he has his data and he's saying that based on this is what I'm saying, and then this backs up what I'm saying. Now, what's your rebuttal? And it's always I feel
women buried around her children.
Why is that?
Because y'all are unruly, unsubmissive, and out of line.
Well, let me ask you, how many women?
Go to a restaurant on Friday or Saturday night, and you'll see a mama. You may see her with her mother and a bunch of kids. There will be no husbands. In Atlanta, I have taken pictures of restaurants full of women and children and no men.
How many women?
Maybe it was like a girl's dinner time. I don't know. We're just gonna, we don't know what was going on there. Maybe there is a man in the picture, Kevin. We don't know, Like he doesn't always have to be in the,
At that point in time, had degrees and education. Everybody.
What the French toast does your degree mean?
Why doesn't it mean anything?
What is your degree in?
I hear this a lot. Like I do, like personally, like obviously I don't know. I can't speak for every man, but personally, like I would like for my partner to I don't want to say be at my level, but either be at my level or be close to it, or even above me. I don't really care if you're above me. But for me personally, like when I'm looking, like if I'm looking for a partner, like I'm not really factoring what your degree is. Like it's a bonus. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely a bonus because if we're gonna, get into a relationship, a partnership, I want to be able to share, finances and things like that. It's not, but basically with me, with my goals, I'm not gonna need your help, but it's always, it's always a benefit to have it, since it's there, if anything may happen. But I don't think a lot of men are thinking of like, oh, like she needs to be a doctor or she needs to be a pharmacist or like engineer, like things like that. They're not thinking about that. They're just thinking of like, can she like, do I like being around her? Can she take care of kids? Can she take care of the house? Like things like that. Like we're not really like, can I bring it to my family? Things like that,
But why doesn't it mean?
What's the degree in?
That's not the question.
Yes, it is. No, I'll tell you. Because almost 90% of the degrees women get are in humanities.
That's not the question, though, Mr.
Yes, it is.
That's not it.
You don't seem to understand. A fucking communications degree is pointless.
I'm not downing people that have communication degrees, but the way I grew up, like it was engineering, medicine. Yep, those two. Engineering, medicine. Like those two were like the big. Like you had to. So, but these you have to get into a field that like can actually make a lot of money. That's how I grew up. Like the people that are around were like in these fields that were generating large amounts of income. So I just followed kind of those footsteps. So, but communications, I didn't really know people that were communication, and they don't really make a lot coming. It's for one, I'm sure it's congested because everyone is getting it, so it's hard to find a job, and also you're not making that much. Like, so it's really pointless. It's a pointless degree, personally. But unless you're gonna do, if you're gonna do communication, like I'm not like against college, but if you're gonna get a degree like communications or anything else or liberal arts, don't go to college. Like if you're going to college for like engineering, you know, medicine, so they can get into medical school, then I think college is for you. But those other degrees that mean nothing, like just don't waste your money for college.
How is it pointless? And who says my education and my degree is in?
Okay, if you want to play the game with me, I'll play it with you. You want to bring up degrees, you're going to have to be specific. What percentage of women get degrees that are in science, engineering, technology, or math? Infrastructure.
Yep.
I don't think that matters.
That's your problem. You don't understand what's important.
What's important then, Mr. Samuels?
Who is that?
What's important, Mr. Samuels?
That y'all are completely out of line. That you don't even understand how the world works. You're running on override. Men build the world that you live in.
Oh, that's true. Like,
who built that?
I know it sounds bad. That's the thing with, like, not all women. I gotta keep saying that. Not all women, but the way he says certain things makes it like it hits women wrong, because it's like, oh, like, no, they don't. But when you look into it, like when you break it down, like, you know, the construction, like who are building these buildings, like, you know, who are lifting these things, it's usually men. You don't really, like, I've personally never seen a woman personally, like I've never seen a woman like in a construction site that's actually like doing construction work. They might be in that realm, but they're usually like in the office or something like that, which is fine. So when he says like men are physically building the world, or men built this world, that's what he means. But like women, just like some women, when they hear that, it just comes across like, oh, they just go directly on the defense. But it's true. Like, yeah, like I don't want to say it, but it's true. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, what do you want me to do?
Built that house or apartment you live in? Was it a crew of women? Who designed the metal work?
You see what I'm saying?
Who put in the floor, the plumbing, the electrical system, the heating? Who put that in? The car you drive, was that built by a crew of women?
There might be some women, but the majority, like for example, like for that example you just made, for building a car, there might be some women, but the majority are men. Like, it's just a fact. Like,
women are not capable of doing none of those.
That's not what he's saying. He's not saying that they're not capable. He's saying that men build it. Like the men, like no, like that's the thing. Like they always think it's like about capability. No, like women, I'm sure if they could do it, they would do it. Like if they could do it, they would do it. But they don't. The fact of the matter is that they don't do it. So men do it.
No.
You're not good at it. And we're given a choice. Excuse me.
Because we know the data. Look at the data. If women were good at it, they like, if they could and if they were good at it or liked it, construction workers, they make a lot of money. Like some of them, I think a lot of them make 6 figures and up, like 100,000 and up. So that's good money. So if women were about that, they would be in that field. Like, it's just a fact. Women like some, you know, you see a lot of women in like become nurses and things like that because that's what they enjoy. Some of them. So.
Because when given a choice, because women are free today, right? And you're educated, right? Then why don't we see 51% of the construction workers as women? Why don't we see 51% of the engineers as women? Why don't we see 51% of the plumbers, electricians, military, train operators, heavy, dangerous work as women? Because when given an opportunity, women segregate themselves into more comfortable positions.
That's a fact.
Men do the dangerous work to build society.
Okay.
That's your place.
That's my place. I should follow my husband. I should follow the man. That's his place. We're not equal. He's stronger than me. He
is.
That is true. Like, I know she's being sarcastic, but like most like obviously they're outliers with anything. Like, and women like to focus on outliers, but no, you have to focus on the average. The average man is stronger than the average woman. It's just a fact. Like, that's just a fact. Like, and like women, like a man and a woman, like they have different roles. Like they have different roles. So as humans, they're equal, but their roles are different. Like they're supposed to, like, just based on society, based on how the world is right now, men are expected to do certain things and women are just expected to do certain things. But I think nowadays things have kind of gotten a little out of whack. So women kind of, they want the best of both worlds. They want to be able to, have certain privileges, but not being able to do certain things. So things are just like out of whack now. That's why I think that's why you see this kind of content coming out now and like flourishing, because I think some of the men were just frustrated. So now they're, now you see Kevin Samuels pops up.
No, he is. Go look at Bear Grylls Island season 2. And they dropped a bunch of men and a bunch of women on a deserted island and gave them some basic tools. And they had to survive for 6 weeks. By the end of day 1, the women.
Oh, sorry about that. I had to check on something.
The women had gotten lost and were fractured. By the end of day 1, men got from one side of the island and started building out a shelter. By the end of 6 weeks, the men had damn near made the internet. By the end of 6 weeks, women almost would have died 4 times.
Let me ask you something, Kevin. You want what you're trying to preach to women about being submissive, playing their place to men, and doing all these things. When we do those things to our men, they give us their ass to kiss.
Then it's not the right man. Like, we're not all, like, you shouldn't be submissive to every man. Like, pick the right man to be submissive to. That's what I believe. Like, not every some men need time to grow up. Like, that's just a fact. So, like, you can be submissive to her point. I personally don't think a woman should be submissive to every man she meets. If that man meets certain or almost all the requirements that she wants, then I think she should be submissive to him. It shouldn't. I think that like we're saying that, like, I'm saying that she should be submissive, but she shouldn't even feel like she's being. It should come naturally. Like, she just wants to take care of him. And from my experience, that usually just happens. Like, it's not, you don't, like, she will naturally just become like submissive to you, meaning she just wants to take care of you. Like, it will come naturally. Like, it's not something a woman should think about. It will just come naturally. But you should not be submissive to every man, because not all men are just not. I mean, not all men are equal. So pick wisely, honestly.
Men feel like,
excuse me, what does that mean?
I feel like growing up, seeing my grandfather, seeing my daddy pay all the bills, do everything in their power to make sure home is kept well, they still went out and did bullshit over their wives. Now,
excuse me, hold on. Let me stop you right here. First off, stay in your damn place as a child. That ain't your motherfucking business.
But I'm grown now.
But ain't your business. Excuse me. Stop. Breathe. Breathe. No. I will shut this shit down. I will shut this shit down and finish. It's not your place. You as a child trying to judge adult situations. Did your mama leave? Did your grandmama leave?
Yes. My mother left. My grandmother didn't leave.
Well, your mama left, and look, and this is what we're dealing with. A woman who feels like what?
She can't trust.
Then go get some damn therapy, because that ain't men's problems. See, the problem is in our community. The problem in our community is women today are nowhere close to being the caliber of women that women used to be. You're weak. You're soft. You sit around complaining about stuff because you have it too easy. You have it far too easy. My grandmother's generation, they survived the Dust Bowl, the Great Depression, and real racism. They had to worry about real bona fide lynching. We got in our country.
Can you? I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, let me know in the comments what you guys think, because like he said, women nowadays are weak. I don't think that they're weak. I think that they've been. I think not all women, but I think that the. I think that the majority of women now, like, there's so much, which is a good thing. They have so, I don't want to say freedom, but they're able to do so much more than back in the day. That it's just natural. They want more. Like they want more, like from whatever they do, and now they want more from men, and especially now with music, at least in rap and hip hop and things like that. Some of the women in the rap game, they're like promoting like, oh, if he's not making seven, like first it was 6 figures. Now if he's not making 7, 8 figures, send him back to the streets. I mean, so now men are like, yo, I gotta be getting her this. No, like, so they're just expecting a lot more, and and the average man is not making 7 figures. It's the average man is only making 6 figures. So like, it's just gotten way out of hand, and like, I just think things need to be like addressed, and I think that's why this content obviously has its pros and its cons. And I'll be the first person to say like there's a lot of things I disagree with Kevin, but some of the points that he makes are valid. You know, it comes across, I guess, in a harsh way, so it's kind of hard for certain people to digest it. But some of the points make sense. That's why like I'm open to his content. I personally don't like everything he says, but I'm open to it. Like I'm here to listen type thing. But some of these women are not even trying to listen, which is the problem.
Country, black women are so comfortable. You almost 200 pounds of 5'4". Not only talk about missing no meals, the black men ain't missing no meals.
Yo,
most people don't understand what even poverty really is. Then you go back and say, well, my mama, men gave us their ass to kiss. You tell the worst parts of all the stories.
I think that's my drink. Yeah, because
you tell the worst part of everything. But where do you ever? I never hear you women give black men credit for anything. It's always talk about the waiting to exhale and the color purple bullshit.
I remember he said he doesn't like Tyler Perry, because like Tyler Perry is just, he paints a black man in such a, and I never looked at it this one time. I started looking at his content, but yeah, he said that Tyler Perry really paints the black man in such a negative light. And looking back, it's like he's right. Like it's always like the black man was the abuser, or he didn't pay his bills, or he didn't take care of his family, blah 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 blah. And which also obviously like black women are looking at it, it's just like, yeah, it's right, and they're just soaking up all that negative energy, and then now this is what we're left with.
Bullshit right there in the center. Let me tell you something. I go to therapy, and me and my parents and my grandparents, the shit they go through might not have been my business, but I inhaled it. I saw that. I saw the.
That's your problem.
Okay. See, this is the stuff. This is what I'm talking. This is what I'm talking about when I say I disagree with him. Like, what do you mean it's her problem? Like, she's a child at that point. Like, you're gonna blame the kid for what the parents are doing? Come on, bro. Like, come on. I disagree. That's not her fault. I disagree.
And how old are you?
It can be my fault.
How old are you? How old are you? How old are you? How old are you? How old are you?
I'm 30.
Okay. Well, due respect, man. That the world doesn't owe you or me understanding, because hold on, because there are people in this world. I will shut this shit down. I won't. No. We don't do that. See, you talking about the traumas that your grandmother and mother, that ain't your business.
Yeah, but
stay in the child.
I personally, I on this side, I agree with the woman. This woman, she's not saying that. She literally said when she was a child, it might not have been her business, but because of what happened, it's affecting her and her like adulthood now. So him saying that like it's her fault for like that's messed up. It's her fault for taking up this trauma, whatever trauma she has. That's not her fault. And she's trying to address the trauma. She says she's going to therapy. Like, come on, give her props. Like, I give her props, man. Good, a lot of people don't even want to go to therapy. Like, so props to you, honestly. She does not. She deserves a kudos for that.
A child's place.
I'm not a child anymore, Mr. Sam.
But that's the point. You're trying to. Okay. Do you have any children?
I do.
So your children need to come get in a relationship with you and your man, or should they stay in their mother flipping place? That's what I thought.
I don't want my kids to see me.
That's not what I asked.
The same thing.
That's not what I asked.
But this is what I'm asking.
That's not what I asked.
Can I talk? Can I say something?
But you didn't answer the question. Your children need to stay. Your children need to stay in a children's place.
Somebody said I look 48. Okay.
Stop. Your children need to stay in a children's place because between you and that man is something that they don't know, they don't understand because they're too young. They shouldn't be trying to judge it through childlike eyes.
But they do.
How old is your old?
Come on, Kevin. Like, I can see why people say like someone hurt him because like it's like he can't like every video I've seen of him like it's like he cannot admit that like that's a valid point. Like it's always like no. Be strong. No like. I know you want to win the argument, but also like it's okay. Like for what I've seen some of his interviews for what he's trying to do. You can also be like, yes, I see that, and give her props. Like she's going to therapy. But kids are kids. Like they are always judging things from their eye. Like they just can't help it. That's like, come on, bro.
Your oldest?
15.
How old is your youngest?
10.
10 years ago, your oldest still believed in Santa Claus. Children need to stay in children's place. And one of the problems we have in the Black community is Black women put their children in grown places where they should not be. They let their children see and experience stuff they should not experience, and because then kids do what they naturally do.
That's not just a Black thing. Like even white people do that. That's why when you think about like when you see all these shootings that are happening across the U.S., what do you think? They definitely are dealing with some trauma. They definitely saw something, that was traumatizing to them. So that's why they're kind of, redirecting that energy to somewhere else. So that's not just a Black thing.
That's a problem of parenting. Your mama shouldn't have exposed you to it.
I agree, Kevin. We agree, but she did. Like the fact that we're talking about what she should have done. I agree, but she did. So it's affecting her now. That's what she's saying. She didn't say the thing about that it was bad parenting, but she said that the trauma came from her seeing what she saw with her mom, her dad, her grandma, So now it's affecting her as an adult. So that's where we are.
So okay, you're right. I can admit that. You are right.
That's all he likes to hear. Like, yeah, I'm right. You're right. Like, that's what I don't know, but I still don't know why people come on his platform. If
every other group, Black people don't commit adultery and cheat at any exorbitantly higher rates than other people. We just use it as reasons. Bill Gates and Melinda Gates just came out saying,
"Oh my gosh!" As soon as I saw that news, bro, I was like, "Gosh!" For these people that make this type of content, I already knew they were about to be like, "Man, hot boy summer." I already knew they were about to be on this thing, man. And I knew they were gonna use it as a part of their content, which is like, it's sad to say, but they've always said this. He's always said this. A high value man is just like there's no way for him to be, with one woman. And if you read up the story with Bill Gates and his I guess now ex-wife, he was able to see his ex, and his wife knew about it. Like, it was, she actually signed off on it, like agreed that it's fine. And most women, like, that are dealing with the average man, would be a no go. But Bill Gates is one of the richest men in the world. Like, so compromise. So it's crazy.
Saying Bill Gates, the most richest man in America, right? What did his wife come out saying? Oh, by the way, Bill been kicking it with his ex-girlfriend all our marriage.
All the marriage. That was crazy.
Now, see, if there was black folks, Tyler Perry would be made a movie about it. Because we understand that this whole notion of man and woman, there's always an understanding between a man and a woman. And the man and the woman need to understand this, and the kids need to stay at the kids' place, eat at the kids' table, and not be involved in grown shit.
Right.
Okay.
I think he should rephrase that. Like, I think he shouldn't say that the kids shouldn't be involved in grown stuff. I think he should say that the parents should not allow the kids to see grown folks' business. Simple. The parents shouldn't allow them to see that. The kids are just, if they see it, it's going to be stuck in their head. Easy. I think you should rephrase that.
So if we allow your children to witness arguments and stress and strife, that's the mama fault.
Okay.
So I'm not saying that you didn't suffer trauma, but I'm saying that that's not your place to be around.
Again,
because
rephrase it. Like,
I don't know men who just say, I'm gonna wait till the kids come home and then I'm gonna whoop your ass in front of the kids. That ain't how men move. I don't know men who say, I'm gonna wait till the kids home and I'm gonna come and scream and holler at you. That's not how men do.
But when the kids are there, there's some men that don't even care. Like the kid could be in the other room, but you still hear it. Like, come on, man. Come on, bro.
And at 30 years old, man, whatever happened to your mother and your grandmother, as traumatic as it is, due respect, man, you got to process that, moving on, and it cannot be an excuse because your children could say the same thing.
But
you're right.
You're absolutely right.
So. You're right. And I didn't want to get on here and argue with you, and I didn't want to, disrespect your platform. But I do have a question.
Sure.
My thing is, and this is just coming from my experience with dating, you are telling women to stay in their place, to be submissive, to be soft, to stand behind their husbands, but they don't reciprocate the same thing. We can do all that, and we still
I don't know. I don't want to make this video too long, so let me know what you guys think about this this conversation. See, it's a long conversation, so I'm gonna leave it at that. But there were certain things I agree with, Kevin, but there's certain things I didn't. But let me know in the comments, what you guys thought about this conversation. It's your boy Vaughn, and I'm out.